coffee. Coffee with Tim Black. Yes, I am coffee. Coffee with Tim Black.
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Come on, sucker. Let's get it on.
That's right, guys. Let's get it on. My name is Tim Black. Welcome to another edition of Coffee with Tim Black. How you doing, my people out there on Periscope, Facebook, and YouTube world? You gotta believe it. It's that time. It's the winter solstice. Winter solstice 2017. You know, I had to look into this, like, to find out what that really meant. You know, it's the shortest day, like the longest night, the shortest day that we're gonna have all year. That's what it is, and it's that long march towards spring. All right, so it begins now, but don't worry, we got a lot of winter to get through. All my people out there that love winter, there's some people who love winter that love the snow. They be wishing for a white Christmas, wishing for a white Christmas. One of my best friends loves to drive in the snow. It's like his thing, you know, doing donuts in the snow. And every time it snows, I call him. He's like, man, you know where I'm going, dog. You know where I'm going to be, out in the snow. So, and look, guys, I got a number of stories to get to today. I want to thank everybody who sent story ideas, issues, things that they want to cover on the show. I appreciate that. This show is only as good as the content that we cover. This is a fact. So, continue to send your stories to Tim at timblacktv.com. Now, before we get into the stories, I want to make sure everyone knows, share this stream somewhere. That's right, share the stream, share the stream, share the stream.
Look, man, I ain't falling for no banana in my tailpipe.
Because that's how people learn about the show, all right? Now, we've got Clinton is still wandering around, wondering what to do. We've got some information, update about the Trump inauguration protesters. Senator Mark Warner of Virginia makes a statement that echoes, and a WikiLeaks update. What shall we begin with? Well, let's begin with this. Now, we're going to talk about Trump and Jerusalem and the UN vote today that pretty much puts the quash on the whole support of, you know, the changing of the capital there. Now, this would be a big deal if it weren't for the fact that we don't really care what other countries think we should do. This would be a big deal if we actually cared about the UN. I don't think we really do. So, yeah, that's kind of, we're kind of lone, we're the lone wolf, we're the desperados. If they don't go our way, we could care less. That's sort of like how, at least the impression the United States gives. The United Nations General Assembly has delivered a stinging rebuke to Donald Trump, voting by a huge majority to reject his unilateral recognition of Jerusalem as Israel's capital. Now, the vote came after redoubling by threats of Nikki Haley, the U.S. ambassador to the UN, who said that Washington would remember which countries disrespected America by voting against it. Hey, you disrespected America is what you did.
Let's sprinkle some crack on them and get out of here.
You disrespected America. If you don't agree with us, it's a disrespect. Sort of reminds me of Obama saying if we didn't vote for Hillary, it would be a disrespect to his legacy. And you see how that worked out. You saw how that worked out. Despite the warnings, 128 members voted on Thursday in favor of the resolution supporting the longstanding international consensus that the status of Jerusalem, which is claimed as a capital by both Israel and Palestinians, can only be settled as an agreed final issue in a peace deal. So it's not so much that they're saying, no, this can't happen. They're saying, well, there has to be some type of agreement between the Palestinians and Israel for this to be a resolution. And maybe it'll be a bargaining chip to get to a resolution, maybe. I don't know, but I don't know. But only 9 states. Now, hold up, let me back up. Although it's largely symbolic, the vote in emergency session of the world body had been the focus of days of furious diplomacy by both Donald Trump, his administration, and Israel. including Trump's threat. His threat to cut U.S. funding to countries that did not back the U.S. recognition. Yeah, there were words exchanged. Now, I remember reporting on this the other day. If they said that there would be repercussions. He said that there would be...
There's going to be consequences and repercussions.
Consequences and repercussions for countries that did not vote with us, that did not side with us in the form of some form of retaliation. Money, that's what it was. Donald Trump said he would withhold financial support to countries that did not go along. And let's see who that worked with. Some countries did go along with the UN, did go along with the U.S. recognition. 9 states. Nine went along. Let's see. Maybe these are huge states. Maybe these are huge hitters with a lot of influence in the UN. Let's see who they are. Togo. Togo went with us. Togo. Go to give it up for Togo, y'all. I like Togo. Togo. How big is Togo? All right. That big? That big? All right. Micronesia, Nauru, Palau, Marshall Islands, Guatemala, and Honduras, y'all. There you go. There you go, including, Israel and the United States. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Eight. That's not a lot of people. That's not a great consensus of support. 22 of the EU 28 countries voted for the resolution, including the UK and France, Germany, which in the past has abstained on measures relating to Israel, also voted in favor. It's important to note that the Canada and Mexico, they abstained from voting, didn't they? Yeah, Canada and Mexico, I think they abstained. I think that's true. I think they say, we live too close to the U.S. to vote against them, but we ain't gonna vote with them though. We're not gonna do that. So, in fact, 35 countries abstained, including 5 EU states and Canada, which Palestinian officials had expected would support the U.S. position. Ambassadors from several abstaining countries, including Mexico, used their time on the podium to criticize Trump's unilateral move. There were also 21 delegates absent from the vote, suggesting that Trump's warning over funding cuts and Israel's lobbying may have had some effect. I've heard people state, that that this is something that both Bush and Obama said they would do, but never actually did. And that Trump is showing his mettle by going in and making this a reality by actually supporting this move and offering this recognition. Are we going to be part of the world community, or are we just going to be just dominating, just bullying? Is that what we intend to do? It's what we do all around the world, guys. And I think that there are many Americans who are just unaware of how unpopular a lot of the efforts that we lead are, and how we really get things done is by arm twisting, threatening to either use our financial power or our military prowess. That's really what happens, guys. That's really what happens. It didn't work this time. It did not work this time. WikiLeaks lawyers' office was stormed in a professional operation. Wow, this is big. This is big, and this is devastating. It's also maybe a hint of things to come. According to reports, 3 hooded figures dressed in black broke into the Madrid office of WikiLeaks lawyer Baltazar Garzón. This happened on Monday morning in what police are describing as a very professional operation. They're treating this as an attempted robbery, according to Spain's largest newspaper, El País. Garzón heads Assange's legal defense, in particular working to avoid extradition to Sweden and preparing to face charges thought to be pending by U.S. authorities. Baltazar Garzón, I don't think he was harmed at all. I think what happened here is these men Let's not make this be about, come on, this is not someone trying to steal your gum or your money or, or paintings off your wall. They were looking for information. They were looking for data, and this is the reason why I believe that. The intruders covered security cameras with tape, and there were no signs that anything was taken. However, police are analyzing Gazone's computer to determine whether or not any files were taken or copied. Here goes a statement. They have not taken what they have been looking for, Gazone told El Periodico and told Sear, another magazine, that his client's security has not been affected and that people acted very quickly. Now, corresponding to this action, Julian Assange sent out a tweet and it says, masked intruders have broken into the legal office of Baltazar Gazan, head of Wikileaks legal team in Madrid. No money taken, security cameras taped over. A very professional operation, say police. Now, what's very interesting is like hours just before this break-in, Julian Assange had tweeted out a video done by my friend Bullshit Man on YouTube. I think he changed his name to something Epstein. But I just know him as the BS Man. He does a lot of massive full video productions, which are documentaries, mini documentaries on issues. So he did a video of Jimmy Dore, and in this video there is a portion of Julian Assange coverage, and it talks about Seth Rich. And in the interview, the famous, now infamous video where Julian Assange is being interviewed by, I think it's a member of the BBC or someone in the UK, and they ask questions about Seth Rich, and Julian Assange intimates that Seth Rich was the leaker inside the DNC. So Julian Assange retweets this video, and this video, he calls it brilliant. I don't know if there's a connection between these two things, but hours later, that's when the office of Baltazar Gazan was broken into, was intruded. So I just find it very eerie, mysterious, and as much of what's been going on. I had an opportunity to interview Donna Brazile, who was the employer, worked with Seth Rich, and a lot of people missed it. I don't know why. I asked Donna Brazile 3 questions in a row about Seth Rich. And after the first question, she made it very difficult to ask the second or third question about Seth Rich. She did her best, I felt, to make that line of questioning seem shameful. But I proceeded. Or as they would like to say, I persisted. I would encourage you all to go see my video where I do this. I think it's about the 29-minute mark. This was strategic. This was planned. This was discussed with my friends in indie media, how to address this issue. And also, for the record, I want everybody to know, the mere bringing up of Mr. Rich and his murder makes you persona non grata in the corporate media world. I've been covering news for 4 years. I've been doing videos for 5 years, television appearances, speeches, what have you. And I'll tell you, the only knock that they ever make against me is that I've discussed Seth Rich. So it's a third rail. And if you talk about that, you are done. And I talked about it, so I'm done. Moving on. Mark Warner made a very interesting speech on the House floor. Now, Mark Warner, he is a Democrat from Virginia. He's a senator. And he was talking about the Mueller investigation and the possibility that Donald Trump would fire Robert Mueller. Today, U.S. Senator, well, this was actually yesterday, but yesterday, Senator Mark Warner, Vice Chairman of the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence, spoke on the floor of the U.S. Senate to warn of threats to Special Counsel Robert Mueller's investigation of Russian interference in the 2016 election. He highlighted the constitutional crisis that would likely ensue if Trump were to interfere in the Mueller probe. In recent weeks, a growing chorus of voices in Congress, the media, and the White House have begun pushing a coordinated narrative undermining the credibility of the special counsel's investigation and the FBI itself. Senator Warren responded to these troubling signs that the president may be considering firing Mr. Mueller or top FBI DOJ officials, pardoning potential witnesses, or otherwise interfering in the investigation. So Senator Mark Warner, he went on to say, he tried to make a clear, unambiguous statement that any attempt by the president to remove Special Counsel Mueller from his position or to pardon key witnesses in an effort to shield them from accountability or shut down the investigation would be a gross abuse of power and a flagrant violation of executive branch responsibilities and authorities. So, yeah, he made what was the word? What was the takeaway? It was a takeaway line from Senator Warren. Oh, here it is. He said, Senator Warner said, "These are red lines, and we simply cannot allow them to be crossed." Very interesting statement to make. Now, I've reported on this before, and I agree that this investigation, no matter how much it's going to cost, it should go through to its completion. I think the American people need to see this end, and they need this to be over with finally. The Russia collusion theory, we need to see what's going to come of that. What do you actually have? So I agree. I disagree, right, that Trump is going to shut this down. I think he knows it would be devastating due to all the media coverage of it, due to the awareness of it across the country and how it looks if he shuts it down. But one thing I do disagree with about Senator Warner is he's talking about checks and balances in the executive branch and how, we need to make sure that we don't want to make this seem like the president has all this power. Like, we know the president doesn't have unmeasurable power or immeasurable power. We know that, right? We know Donald Trump doesn't control everything. We know that. But I do agree we need to play it out. Play it out. Senator Warner, stop acting as if Donald Trump was the first president to do what he wanted to do in the White House. But Obama did what he wanted to do. I didn't hear any red lines. He got rid of habeas corpus. Okay? It's gone. Right? There are things that were done under previous administrations, and it weren't that long ago. So please, people, don't tell me, "Oh, Tim, don't do it. What aboutism?" I'm not whataboutisms. I'm just saying, in context, Trump is being a Republican. And he ran as a Republican, and he's being a Republican. So they just make everything the boogeyman. But if you got him on something, bring it. Bring it, people. Bring it. All right. On to some good news. All right. Now, during Trump's inauguration, there were a number of protests. A lot of people took to the streets, and they made their displeasure in Donald Trump being the president known. All right. Now, a number of these people who protested, they were arrested. And the term or the tag J20 was assigned to them. Well, today, Trump inauguration protesters are found not guilty. And yes, I'm going to hit the clap button. Here goes the update. A D.C. Superior Court judge has acquitted a group of inauguration protesters on all charges, according to multiple media reports. 6 activists who were arrested while protesting on Inauguration Day as part of the J20 or Jan 20 protests were each facing 5 felony charges of destruction of property and 2 misdemeanor counts of engaging in a riot. Jennifer Armedo, Oliver Harris, Brittany Lawson, Michael Machio, and Christine Simmons, and Alexi Wood were protesting Donald Trump's inauguration, and now they are free and clear, I hope, right? This is good. This is important. The defendants were acquitted. Thursday, after a 4-week trial, more than 200 people were arrested for the protest, and the 6 acquitted Wednesday were being prosecuted for more than $100,000 of damage that occurred across the city. The defense argued that the J20 group, which totaled about 50 people, about 500 people, goodness gracious, a lot of people, 500 people, mostly consisted of peaceful protesters, and that the 6 on trial were not personally responsible for the damage to cars, windows, and other property. Prosecuting attorneys, according to the Post, argued that while the 6 were not personally involved, their decision to march with the J20 group was essentially providing cover for those responsible. This was not a First Amendment activity, said Assistant Attorney Rizwan Qureshi. They conspired by joining in the group to do unlawful things in the streets of our city. An additional 166 defendants arrested on Inauguration Day are scheduled to face trial in small groups through the middle of the next year. 20 others have pleaded guilty, and another 20 had the charges against them dropped. Defense attorneys argued that the law enforcement officers were biased against the group, citing evidence that one officer was heard calling the protesters anarchist. This is about politics. This is about police and local prosecutors who work for the Department of Justice, and we know who they report to, said defense attorney Sarah Croft in her closing argument. All the government provided was that these individuals showed up and walked as protesters. And that's not a crime. Yeah, I agree. I agree. That's not a crime. You can't say guilty by association at a march. You just can't. Were you there? Yeah, I was there, but I didn't do anything. Well, we're going to charge you anyway. I don't care if you did anything or not. The fact that you are there and these people are there, then that means this. So, look, we have to have the right to protest. If these 6 were found guilty of just being there, that would mean no one could ever go to a protest and fear someone at the protest that you don't even know, that you did not help assist in any way, broke something, that you also would be liable for it. No. If one individual breaks a window or damages a car or whatever they do, they should be held responsible. And if the police are not surveilling the area well enough to know who did it, well, you just can't say, I'm going to punish the whole class. Can't do that. I'm going to punish everybody here is on the desk. Everybody. Well, I'm not the one talking. That's it. Detention for everybody. No, we are not children. We can't let the government treat us like children. You find out who did what, you go get them. The rest of us, we just going to keep on exercising our First Amendment. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Sometimes I can't stand that Tim Black, but he got a point. Yeah. You might want to protest somebody one day. Now, there's been a lot of talk about what Hillary Clinton's next move would be. Would she run in 2020? Will she relinquish power? Will she walk off into the distance? What will Hillary Clinton do? Well, it turns out Hillary Clinton may be wondering the same thing. What is she going to do? Take up baking, sewing, knitting? I don't know. Hillary Clinton has all but avoided appearing at campaign events since her stunning loss in 2016. But some Democrats believe she will reappear in the 2018 midterms. Despite polling that shows Clinton with low favorability ratings, they say the former Secretary of State could help Democrats in districts she won last year. For me, it's a no-brainer, former Rep. Steve Israel of New York, Democrat. The Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee chairman during election cycle said in an interview, if she's willing to go into these districts she won, she would be extraordinarily helpful. Trump's numbers have only fallen in those districts, so you start there. It would be such a loss that if she sat it out and a double loss in those districts. Clinton confidants who have spoken to the former Democratic nominee about the topic in recent months are aware of the pro-Clinton choose to hit the campaign trail. I don't know. Clinton herself, they say, is aware of the tightrope. She's the human personification of what split the country. And Clinton said a Clinton friend. And look, she understands what this means for her. She's very attuned to what's going on. No, she's not. I doubt very much that Hillary Clinton's very attuned to what's going on. She's probably attuned to what Democrat brass tell her. She's probably very much attuned to that. Okay, so like you got to put yourself outside of yourself and look at this from a perspective of, okay, she won districts handedly, then yes, she's a draw, I guess. She did beat Trump in those areas. But my thing is this, she also will be used. See, people are going to run. There are going to be Republican candidates who are going to run using Hillary Clinton's name. They're going to say, this person, they're going to paint people with the brush of Clinton brush. The Clinton brush. That happened to Ossoff, right? Ossoff, I don't even know what Ossoff was about. He tried to contort himself into a replica of Hillary Clinton, and we saw what that got him. And the fact he didn't distance himself from Clinton, he was easily defeated, even though they spent loads of money on his campaign because it just said, that guy's nothing but a Clinton replica. He's the Clinton skin job. That's what he is. And I think that's going to be very effective. It's the same tactic that Democrats use to try to defeat Republicans. They use Trump. So Trump cannot be avoided. He's the president. Democrats, Democratic Socialists, all of those candidates, even Green Party candidates can use Donald Trump against Republicans. If they won't distance themselves from Trump, and Trump is unpopular in the area, in their district, they'll say, this guy is just another version of Trump. This guy he agrees with Trump. And there's nothing Republicans can do about it. That's why low approval ratings not only hurt Trump, they really hurt candidates in the Republican Party. If Clinton walks away, goes away, chills out, maybe that helps, but I don't think it will. I think her name rings out like G Money. G Money and yeah. I don't know. You know, it rings out in the streets is what I'm trying to tell you. So whether Hillary Clinton hides, gets on the front of the stage, goes across the country promoting another book or whatever she does, she will still be used as a tool against Democrats. And it's a useful tool. Speaking of Hillary Clinton, I just put out a new ebook. It's called 5 Things Smart People Wish Hillary Supporters Knew. Right. 5 Things Smart People Wish Hillary Supporters Knew. It's on Amazon. It's on my YouTube channel. I have a link in the description box on my YouTube channel. I'm going to pin it on Facebook and pin it everywhere else. I'm going to tweet about it. It's only $3, $3.99. It's to support this channel. And it also includes a bonus of a 47-minute long video on the subject. So, this book is it's a short book. It's only less than 40 pages, but it's great for talking points. See, when you have these conversations, especially around the holidays, people want to start talking politics, which I don't encourage at the dinner table, but if it happens, you'll have some points that you can hit. Very easy points you can hit about why Hillary lost and what those Hillary supporters should know or need to know about their candidate. That's it, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to Coffee with Tim Black. Once again, shout out to everybody who supports this channel. Going to TimBlackTV.com, becoming a monthly member of the show, giving as little as $1 or as much as $10,000, whatever. I appreciate your support. I'll see you again in a few hours for Black Word Today, where we talk about other issues. I appreciate y'all. Stay tuned now. And don't forget, drink your coffee. Oh, before you go. I'm sorry, guys. One-liners. I got some one-liners. I need to keep that page up here for my one-liners. One-liners. Okay. the chips. This is for the kids. They need to. The Democrats are pushing Republicans to get legislation or something done, some type of emergency bill done to feed the kids. How you gonna shut the kids out? How you gonna forget to reinstall this program chips? Come on now, this is ridiculous. What's wrong with people? There's a new report out in Washington, D.C. where they looked at body cameras and they found out body cameras, police wearing them doesn't really change anything. Something we already knew. Let's just hope they didn't spend a lot of money on that study. Confederate statues in Memphis are removed. They got rid of some statues. You know, contrary to popular belief, people think these statues been up forever. They put these statues up during Jim Crow era, most of them, just to rub it in on black folks to say, you ain't going to be nobody, you ain't nothing. Let me put this statue up, to let you, remind you of who runs stuff in this area. So, yes, those statues are coming down. They came down. They did. And I hope they rot in hell. And last but not least, my favorite comedian, Dave Chappelle, has a new tape coming out, a new Netflix special coming out. And there's a clip out there where he talks about poor white folks who voted for Trump. And he's pissing off a lot of poor white folks with that. Man, if poor people could ever realize we all poor, and that's the most important color there is, maybe we can get some stuff done. When I say poor, I don't mean you only got $2. It means you have less than $1 million liquid in your bank account where you can do whatever you want to do at any time. You can take off 2 years. That's what rich means. If you can't do that, you ain't rich. All right, guys, I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for hanging out. Peace. Where's the coffee button?
Coffee. With Tim Black. Yes, I am coffee. Coffee with Tim Black.
Look, man, I ain't falling for no